All right, so I am going to allow you guys to talk, even though this is in webinar mode. What's up, Henry? Tiana, I'm going to make you I guess I'm not, well, panelist. Maybe you can unmute people too. So we're going to have a kind of open chinga there today, so we can all talk and we can all chat. I'm going to go over a couple scripts for buyer and seller conversion. Then we can kind of have an open dialogue and question and answer, that kind of thing. So I hope you guys are prepared for that. Oh, we are recording. Never mind. All right, so I'm just sharing my screen. So if you guys don't know where the YouTube channel is, it's just Mike Bjorkman Training on YouTube. So it looks like this. There's a couple different playlists here, and these go back probably 4 or 5 years, something like that. There's a little bit of EXP information. Our Titanium Agents is for recruiting to your team. Agents Mechanics Coaching are these classes, and then Realtor Training, it's just kind of random. And then the podcast. So it's kind of nice how it's laid out. Deanna's got it laid out really nice. And then these buyer conversion, sometimes the oldest videos are the best on YouTube. I found that out. And I had somebody actually point these out the other day. Goes, you need to re-record these because it says HomeSmart and you're not at HomeSmart anymore. But here's the 2 buyer conversion scripts and the seller conversion scripts. So what sometimes we have a challenge with is not being able to close for appointments when we're talking to buyers and sellers on the phone for the first time. And I think if we're a little more confident and had some pretty compelling reasons for them to set an appointment with us, that we could do it more often. So let's try the seller scripts first here. Ignore the HomeSmart part, like I said. Hi guys, it's Mike Bjorkman. Thanks for watching Minute with Mike again. Today's Minute with Mike is all about seller conversion. When a seller calls you or a potential seller calls you, it's time to make the appointment. Don't let them get off the phone without setting an appointment. So here's 5 scripts that I've always used with 4,000 real estate transactions that work every time. The very first one is what I call the universal script. It works for anything, anybody, anytime, in writing, in email, in video, doesn't matter. Mr. or Mrs. Smith, if I could show you how I could net you 3 to 5% more than the average agent, would you agree to sit down with me? Duh, of course I say yes. The second one, I love this one tons. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, if I had a buyer willing to pay you current market value before you even went on the market, would you agree to show the property? Of course, that's a great one. It always works. I specialize in getting properties into bidding wars and multiple offers. If I could show you how I could do that after you've interviewed the other agents, would you be interested? Of course they are. They always want to know how we're going to create a bidding war, right? Let's see, number 4. Hey, I see, Mr. Smith, you're not quite ready yet. How about if I added you to our pocket listing program? That way, when the time is right, we have everything ready, and I have a list of qualified buyers in a pre-marketing stage. That one works really good too. A couple different versions of that one. We can go over that later in some of our classes. And then a USP, unique selling proposition. If all else fails, number 5, this one works every time. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you called the right guy. And as a matter of fact, we're almost at the end of our summer promotion. How would you like me to tell you how I can save you thousands of dollars? So if you were to do that, what's your USP? I'll move you for free. I'll pay for your closing costs. Whatever it is, but you got to have a USP in that one. So those are 5 scripts. You can mix and match, and you could change them, obviously. All right, so we catch all that. Who wants to come off mute and chat about that a little bit? Dean, you want to come off and have a conversation with me?
You got it. Those are great little one-liners. I loved them.
Yeah, be super simple, right? Don't overcomplicate things. Of those 5 scripts, was there anything that stood out to you like, whoa, wow, maybe I want to do that, or maybe I want to say that?
Actually, the summer program's a great idea. I love it. We're trying to juice up our listings as fast as we can, and saying over the next 2 weeks, right? As we finish out summer, this is what we have a summer program we'd like to talk to you about. That's a great one. Also, if we could get you 3 to 5% more, those would be, I mean, everybody wants to make more money on their listing. don't they?
Exactly. And this is usually the time where people say, well, Mike, how do you get 3 to 5% more than the average agent? Well, there's two different scripts on that I say. Number one is I say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the reason I can say that, and what I do is I run my numbers compared to the MLS statistics, right? So the MLS is so vast and has so much data in it. But if you compare it to just our inventory, we sell our homes a much higher list to sell ratio than most people. We don't do commercial, we don't do mobile homes, we don't do, land, we just do residential real estate. So if you look at our statistics at all times, it's higher than every single agent, and it's usually
MLS average.
Yeah. So, and then sometimes I'll use days on market too to compare, and I can sell it faster for more money. And typically when they say, hey, well, how do you do that? And then I use the exact same statistics. I think right now, our days on market is less than 7 days, and the MLS is closer to 30 on an average. So that's pretty cool. But then to top that off, I'll also tell them, look, because we price homes competitively, not overpriced, but at market value, but we market them so hard we can get them sold in less time. So if the average agent will let your home sit on the market for 30 days, after 30 days, statistically, according to NAR, then you'll be in a 3 to 5% negotiating factor in a downward fashion. So that's a really easy script to use.
Oh, that's a good one.
And the reason I use that script is most agents won't do it. And 9 times out of 10, the owner doesn't ask any questions. I mean, if you're that confident to say, look, I can do this better than any other agent, usually they're like, whoa, okay. So
yeah, and well, a lot of my listings will be coming from Sphere, right? I'm not making cold calls on listings and stuff. It's more Sphere, and so they already have confidence that I can get it done. But for me, the competition is always the sister or the brother or the whatever, that just got their license or whatever. And last week when you talked about, okay, so that always kind of tweaks the relationship. That always kind of messes up the relationship. I mean, you can do what you want kind of idea, but I would go with somebody who has, for you, 20, what did you say, 25 years in the business? 20 years in the business?
Yeah, almost 30.
Yeah, I'm at 28. And so, who would you rather have represent you? Right? Mm-hmm. Somebody's done thousands of transactions, or you're their first one. Right.
And then there's that framing part to it where we use a little bit of that NLP and we go, Mrs. Smith, has there ever been a time where you did business with a family member? And you really got to get really like dramatic about that, because if you're not dramatic, it doesn't pull that experience out of there. And what you were saying before is I love the year promotions. And the reason why, it's always a celebration. Right after summer is our fall special. Right after fall is our, Deanna, I see you're watching. Will you please take notes so we can reenact our specials? Sometimes we get so busy we just stop doing what works, and I'm like, why would we stop that? So I'll give you guys a little tip. There was a time where I was doing some geographical farming, and I wanted to make a fast impact, and it's luxury, it's usually over $1 million. So I would put on there on the postcards, and I do 8.5 by 11 postcards, and I don't know if Deanna, if you could dig any of them up in the marketing, but we would have summer special. Spring special was always my favorite, because spring's when everybody wants to sell. So I would put like, I'll pay for your escrow fees, or I'll pay for your title fees, or I'll pay for your home warranty. I forget all the other things, but we made it really nice. It was just nickel and dimey things. It was out of the seller's net sheet. So we gave them a nice healthy list, and it said, thousands of dollars worth of savings. And people would be like, I would advertise the market update, everything that was going on in the neighborhood on one side, and then I'd have that special on the other side. So quite often when I would go to the listing appointment, they would completely forget about the USPs when they said, the summer or spring specials. But in my mind, I knew I would list it at a normal commission, but in my mind, chances are they're going to remember that before we close escrow. So you always have to be ready and willing to accept your USP when they bring it up. So make sure you're listing the homes at a full commission. And the nice thing about the other script that we talked about is when I say I specialize in bidding wars and multiple offers on your property, that is something they will say, how in the world do you do that? and you say, you know what, that is a fantastic question. There's no way we're going to do it over the phone. We could do it over Zoom, or I can meet you at the property, and I'm going to show you my detailed market plan, and we're going to go over it. And when you see what we actually do to market homes, and you see that we have an active database that we've actually been marketing your home months and months and months ago, you'll see how we sell homes so fast and how we'll get you multiple offers and bidding wars on your property. A lot of agents will say, oh, we're going to price it 3 to 5% below market to create that activity. And when they do tell the homeowners that, and I don't know if it's a thing where you guys live, but in Southern California, it's kind of a thing. But I would always be like, yeah, your agent's already starting out being shady. That's not cool. You know, so I always, oh, it's just me and
you. No, they don't. No, it's here we don't. Oh, I haven't heard that the whole. Let's start 3 to 5% below market because the market's so hot, just like California is. I'm in Phoenix, by the way, for the other people out there. But negotiating skills. You know, the nice thing is you can use things like you said. You know, in your script, you said, you know, I've done 4,000 transactions, which is definitely an old number, but the same with me. You know, after you do so many transactions, we know how to negotiate. We know what's important and what's not important. And so that helps them because we are the calm in the storm sometimes, right? During the negotiations, they get all stressed out, or whatever side you represent gets stressed. And you're like, you know what? Calmer minds prevail. An old friend of mine who's a broker, he reminded me of that this last week. Calmer minds prevail. And that's what you have to, not only is you have to say the right things, but just like an NLP, your tonality, your body language, everything has to exude the confidence, not cockiness, but confidence to help ease them into a level of security. So then they'll sign with you every time.
Dang right. That was awesome. All right, so let's go back to sharing the screen, and then I think we might even play a couple of NLP techniques. People seem to really like that. If we have time, I want to go through some of those. All right, so if you're just joining us or you're just joining us on Facebook Live, if you go to the Mike Bjorkman Training YouTube channel, be careful because there's Mike Bjorkman as a realtor, the consumer site facing one, and then there's Mike Bjorkman Training, which is direct for agents. You click on videos and we're scrolling down, and now we'll click on the buyer conversion scripts, and they're just real simple. They're like 3 minutes long each. So there's 1 through 3 here and 3 through 5 here. They're at the very last page. Now I'm looking at all these other videos here. There's some gold in here, you guys. I hope you can take some time to catch up in the YouTube channel. So, all right. So again, if you're just catching us and you're watching this and you don't know what's going on, I know it says HomeSmart. I've not worked at HomeSmart in 2 years. I'm extremely happy at EXP. So please know these are just older videos and I need to re-record them. So here we go. Hey guys, it's Mike Bjorkman. Thank you for watching Minute with Mike. Today's video is all about buyer conversion. Don't get on the phone with a potential buyer and not set an appointment. So let's start with my #1 favorite default script. I wrote it down, I don't even have to look at it. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, if I could show you for foreclosures and short sales that not yet on the market, would you like to see those with me? And what do they say? Of course. The second script. All right, so let's talk about that. So this is about the time, because I have these coaching calls all the time. This is the time where the agents say, we don't have any foreclosures or short sales in our marketplace right now. Exactly. That is why this script works. And when I did come up with this script, it was in the hottest market before the last recession. And the problem was people, first of all, people still to this day aren't 100% sure how short sales work. They heard them back in the recession, but they just don't really understand what's going on. Is there a short sale here and there in our market? Yes, you can search in your MLS typically by that. So if you wanted to be that super, ethical agent that says, I already have them. But if you listen to the script, it says, if I could show you, if, not I am going to, but if I could show you. And then of course we have NODs all the time. And to be quite honest with you guys, it's a very good opportunity for you to run NODs, and you could use Foreclosure Radar and all those other companies. Your title rep can probably get you most of that stuff. But when you do see NODs, it's a really good way to reach out to the homeowners and ask them, hey, and the script I use for that, just so you know, since we're watching it, is I'll be like, hey, I'm an advocate for homeowners that are in default. And what that means
is I will fight and do everything possible to let the bank stay in this home as long as possible. So why don't we have a chat and see what I can do to help you guys and protect you guys and save your credit. And then the biggest thing when you call in NODs is, and I could probably get you cash for keys, meaning I can get your move paid for and possibly your first month's rent paid for wherever you're going next if you have to move. But our very first task will be to make sure we get you to stay in the house. So I know we bounced around a little bit on that, but that's a really good way, because even we don't know what's going to happen after COVID, but there might be some fallout of default and short sales. But the only thing you guys have to worry about this is, look, people like foreclosures and they like short sales. Why? Because it sounds like they're getting a deal. So, and the nice thing to do is when you do look for foreclosures, just say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I'm looking. Most of the homes will never make it to a foreclosure in this market. They will probably be an approved short sale if they even go that far. But the other reason there's not a lot is typically most people have enough equity because the market's gone up so much that they could borrow money and save themselves for foreclosure. But while we look for off-market homes, I'm still going to be looking for foreclosures and pre-marketed short sales for you, and any other type of default or creative financing that might come on the market. So, all right, let me go back to the video. We'll watch that a little bit more. All right, let's listen to the rest.
Is the better deal script. So, Candy, I know of some other homes nearby that seem to be better deals. Would you like me to check their availability and get right back with you? I know it's a long shot, but wouldn't it be worth it? Number 3.
All right, so that one is extremely powerful. Now, this is not typically your average sign call. This is a script that you use when it's a Zillow lead or an OpCity or Realtor.com, whatever it is. Because if your homeowner, your client hears you say, there's probably better deals around the corner, you're going to piss them off. So this is kind of just a random lead. They're just kind of calling off something. So, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, that's a great house you called on. I'm going to check its availability and make sure. When do you want to go see that home? Let's go ahead and set the appointment now. Remember that we're setting the appointment now. And by the way, I think I know of a couple better deals around the corner. If at all possible, if I can get you guys into that at the same time, would that be okay? And that is extremely powerful because they're like, wow, I really like the house I called on, but wait, this guy knows of more and better deals. Most of the agents I talk to don't know any homes that are on the market, and it's impossible to find a home. So when I first started using that, I was blown away. I was like, holy moly. But what forced me to get better as an agent, it made me go back and look at the past expireds and past canceleds, and I had to dig up other things in the neighborhood to get you to be, to find other listings, off-market properties. Because remember, that's our job, is to find more listings, right? Off-market properties. That's what we have to do all day, every day. Deanna, do you want me to take you off the panelist so you can hide? I know how much you love to be the only person. I can't take you off now. I don't know why. Let me look at it here. Can you not do that for yourself? I'm sorry. Okay, sorry guys, give me 1 second. We'll jump right back in. Dang it, I don't know how to do it. I don't know. You can turn your video off if you want, if you're uncomfortable. So Deanna's awesome, you guys. She does all of our marketing, but she's not a real big fan of sitting in front of thousands of people live. So I'm trying to help her out a little bit here. All right, so let's go back to this. Whoops. Share the screen again. It should be an easier way to share and unshare. All right, so let's listen to the rest of the scripts now.
I see what you're looking for could be quite a challenge. One of the benefits of working with my office is we compile all the MLS data of homes that went on the market and did not sell. For whatever reason, they may not be ready to list, but possibly we can get you in to see them, and they would like to sell at this time. Would you like me to follow up? So those are 3 very powerful converting buyer scripts, and they would like to see a list, but possible reason they may not be ready to list data of homes that went on the. One of the benefits of working with my office is.
So I wanted you guys to hear this script again because it went by kind of fast and it was choppy, but this is so powerful. Listen to it one more time.
The benefits of working with my office is we compile all the MLS data of homes that went on the market and did not sell. For whatever reason, they may not be ready to list, but possibly we can get you in to see them, and they would like to sell at this time. Would you like me to follow up? So those are 3 very powerful.
All right. So kind of the theory behind that script is we're kind of telling them, look, we're already looking for off-market properties for you guys. And it just gives them a whole it's like hope, like, oh wow, we compile all the data. Because when you explain to a buyer, like, look, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, just because these homes are on Zillow or Redfin or whatever, that doesn't mean that's what's available. That's almost like going to buy a car and you look at eBay only. And there's thousands of other sites, right? There's Craigslist, there's Auto Trader, the owners of the dealerships have their own websites. And I'll continue my motorhome saga with you guys, right? I'm still looking for a motorhome. It's the worst thing in the world. It sucks more than being a buyer in this market. But the one motorhome that I wrote an offer last week that I really, really wanted, the dealer brought it in on a trade and the salesperson knew about it. So that motorhome never had the chance to go to RV Trader or RVT or wherever I'm looking. So it's just proof. And I even thought of that. I'm like, wow, it just goes to show you there's good deals out there that aren't online. So I really need to get in touch with the good salespeople. So back to that. It forces you guys to literally call past clients or past expireds and past canceled and all that good stuff. Because when you can compile an off-market list of properties, and when you're calling them consistently, and we'll probably talk in a second about that script I don't want to blow the whole next one. So, all right, let's go and play the other one again, or play the next one again. The only reason I'm flipping back and forth to these videos is because I might forget one of them and I don't want to forget them. And I also want you guys to see where the YouTube channel is. If you're just catching us, yeah, I know it says HomeSmart all over these videos. I'm not at HomeSmart. I'm loving life at EXP, so they're just old videos. All right, so this is the last 2 buyer scripts, and they're really good.
Hi guys, it's Mike Bjorkman. Thanks for watching Minute with Mike. Here's the deal. Last week we gave you the first 3 of buyer converting scripts, and now today, number 4 and 5 of the best buyer conversion scripts I've ever used, and I've used them for over 25 years. This one is a tax script. It takes a little bit more practice, but here it goes. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, one of the benefits of working with Team Bjorkman is we preview properties all day, every day. What that means to you is we could show you neighborhoods with low or no HOA, no Mellorews, no school bonds, things of that nature that really raise your payment, hidden fees almost, if you will. So we can increase your purchase power. So by working with us, we can show you homes in those areas that could possibly save you $500, $800, maybe even $1,000 a month. Wouldn't that be great? How about we give you a list of those, or would you like to see them today? Or tomorrow would be better. So the other one is the USP script.
All right, so that script is also way more powerful than one would think. So especially for like a first-time buyer, right? They're very concerned about house payments. Now, if I catch that they're concerned, like usually when you talk to a buyer and they're concerned about payments, they're like, well, I can't have my payment go over $2,000 a month, or I can't have my payment go over $3,000 a month. And you're okay. So payment means everything to you, right? Yeah, I cannot go over $185,000, period. That will make my payment too high. If it goes over $1, I can't afford the house. So then that perks my ears up and I go, oh, really? Okay, so of the agents you're working with, are they being very careful to keep you out of high tax areas? Are they keeping you out of school bonds? Are they keeping you out of Mellorews? Are they keeping you out of things that will make your payments go really high? And they'll say, I don't know. What do you mean? So, okay, you said you don't want to go over 185,000, right, Mr. Buyer? Correct, not a penny. Well, let's say you're seeing all these homes on Zillow or whatever you're looking at, and they're all 185,000. You're super excited to go see these houses. But what you don't realize is that neighborhood that you're calling on might have an extra $250 a month school bond, or it might have a Mellorews tax. It's another $250. There's all these hidden fees in certain parts of town. Like one side of town might have 1.8% tax rate, and the other side of town might have a 1.25% tax rate. So what you're doing is you're calling on a $185,000 house, but you don't realize there's a $200 a month HOA, $200 a month extra tax in this thing. So now your payments just went up $400 a month. That's not what you were looking for, right? So our team, we specialize in finding off-market properties that are, and we know, because we preview property all day, every day, which neighborhoods have these assessments and which ones don't, and which ones have HOAs and which ones don't. So we can actually take a lot of frustrating time off your hands, because if you truly are worried about a payment, you're going to go over in 75% of the neighborhoods. So do the right thing, work with us, and we'll make sure we avoid those neighborhoods. And if nothing else, we could probably increase your purchase power too, by working with our lender, who has a lot more different loan programs than most people. And sometimes, quite often, we can save you another couple $100 or get you up in a better price range that has more to offer you, but with the same payment. Wouldn't that be great? All right, so let's read that real quick. Hope you guys like that one. I've used it my whole life. I just absolutely love that. All right, let's go back to the video. All right, last one. We'll get into some other good stuff.
You have to have a USP in your pocket. When people are on the fence, it pushes them over to you and your team. Here we go, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Not only can we show you foreclosures and short sales, but when you do purchase one of those with us, we're going to go ahead and pay for your move, or we're going to go ahead and pay for your closing costs, or we're going to give you a free home warranty, or we're going to give you something, whatever that is, a unique selling proposition. So they say, wow, he can get us a good deal, find default homes that are not even on the market yet, and give us a great closing gift, and he promises that up front. So those are two very powerful scripts. Until next week, thanks for watching Minute with Mike.
All right, so I hope you guys got that and dig that. So the idea with the USP, and I talked about it last, I keep talking about it because USPs are going to become really, really important soon. When the market loosens up, you guys are going to be desperate for these. So I'll point out first, there's my friend Sarah, Santa Ana back east in, I want to say Maryland or something like that. Their move for free script and advertising and ad campaigns worked so well, they changed their entire name of their company to Move for Free Real Estate. And so it just goes to show, like, if something's really, really working well, go all in on it. So it doesn't have to be something. It could be a $500 credit towards moving. It could be free home warranties. It doesn't have to be a big deal. But if you can write a compelling ad that drives somebody to take some sort of call of action, and they're on the fence and they see the USP, or they hear it when you're on the phone, they might go, you know what? All right, I was almost there anyways. That just pushed me over the edge. And I'll prove this to you, because if you watch infomercials at night, 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning or whatever, you'll see you're loving this hand chopper, diaper, whatever you call it, and it's going to slice and dice everything in the world. However, when at the end they say, as they offer a fast action bonus, right? If you act now, we'll also throw in blank, a free carrying case for it, right? And you're like, God dang it. All right. Now I was trying not to go online and buy it, but now I'm going to go online and buy it. And then to really blow it out of the water with USPs, there to say, now it has a lifetime money back guarantee, right? Or you have 90 days to return it, and we'll even pay for the shipping. So you're like, oh, I have zero and nothing to worry about. I could buy this risk-free 100%. So before I forget, that is the reason in every one of our listing agreements and our listing presentation, we have the easy exit listing agreement. Because when I'm in front of a seller, I say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, why won't you list with me today? You have zero risk. I take all the risk. I spend all the money in pre-marketing, and you can cancel this agreement at any time. When I say that to sellers, you would be so surprised to see how often this look of peace comes over their face, and they're just like, okay, yeah, we really wanted to have a chance to talk, but I feel like if you can let us out of this, then we'll go ahead and sign with you today. All right. So that was such a big thing for me back in the day that I put that in all my listing presentations, and I advertise that, right? And we put that on postcards, we put that on flyers, we put that everywhere. Nobody wants risk, right? If it's risk-free, 100% guaranteed, you have no risk in the world, people are going to freaking do it. So what kind of USPs can you do? And it's a great way to run an ad, right? So if you were going to start writing a Facebook ad, or those of you at EXP with me, within 3 minutes, you can design a landing page or a squeeze page with the USP. So you can say, attention Santa Clarita home sellers. If you list with me before October 1st, you're going to get blankety, 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 blank. And you can put it on that landing page and write a Facebook ad and drop the link in there. And boom, now you're off and running for maybe $5-10 a day or something. And, you know, put a link in there also for a free market evaluation, which we have obviously already done for us. So now you have a reason to write an ad. So if you did a move for free one, or I'll pay for 5 hours of your move or whatever, and it doesn't work, twist it, do another landing page and split it, A/B test it, right? So say, here comes our fall promotion. If you list with us before October 1st, we're going to give you a free escrow, free title, free home warranty, and a $500 coupon from our moving company for moving. And if that one performs better and you outclick it, then obviously use that one and try to enhance that ad. But now we just have multiple reasons to do ads, and you can do it with buyers just as much. I don't ever, recommend that you place ads for buyers, because buyers naturally come when you have home listings, right? So, all right, so let's go back to the screen share. I promised you guys a little bit of a couple of the NLP techniques too, because we do have enough time. So this YouTube channel, if you're just joining us, is Mike Bjorkman Training on YouTube, super simple to find. All right, so let's see here. Man, there's so many good videos on here. All right, this is the ARC technique with NLP. We might have talked about it a little bit the other day, but if not, here we go.
Hi guys, it's Mike Bjorkman with Minute with Mike. Thanks for watching. You guys keep chatting and chiming in and leaving remarks. We want more NLP. So here's a little bit more NLP. It's kind of a technique that a lot of people don't talk about, but it's very important. Some of us that have been in the business a long time do it, not even noticing it. But when you actually realize what you're doing and practice, when you do your role playing and scripts and dialogues, this is powerful. It's called the ARC technique. Now with the ARC technique, there's a few things. When somebody gives you an objection or tells you what's going on, when they want to buy a house, when they want to sell a house, you got to do a few things. The very first thing is you have to acknowledge what they said and say, yes, absolutely, I agree, that makes sense. Perfect. Those are the types of things that acknowledge. So they go, oh, wow, this guy's really listening. The second thing is repeat. Repeat exactly what they say. Mr. Smith, I can appreciate the fact that you want to move in a few more months when it comes closer to the time for the baby to be born. That makes a lot of sense to me. And then confirm. So when you confirm something saying, absolutely, when the baby's born or close to it, that's when you're ready to move. If I could show you foreclosures and short sales that'll be ready about that time, would you like to see them with me? I think I even wrote a script down here. Let's see if we can get it pulled up. Mr. Smith, I totally understand, right? Acknowledge you want to move in 3 months because you're having a baby and need more room. Great, we're confirming what he said. If I can find you a home available in 3 months that might be foreclosures, would you see those with me? Of course. That's what they want to hear. So it's called the ARC technique. You got to acknowledge, and sometimes people say approve, agree, approve, but I like to say acknowledge because you're really acknowledging what they're saying, and then you want to repeat and then confirm. I hope that helps. Practice it.
So that ARC technique, and there's a couple other names for it, and you've probably heard it before, but when I finally understood how powerful that was, my closing ratio doubled, tripled, because people, and it's kind of funny, we were just at John Cheplek's house the other day in Vegas, and he brought this up, and how important it was. And I'm like, man, I haven't talked about that in so long with these guys, but it's true. You have to let them know that you're watching and paying attention to them, because some people just want to be listened to. Now, when you confirm you're listening, it's just that much, that the whole way of bonding and creating a relationship, because nobody else does that. They'll sit there and go, yeah, okay, yeah, Mr. Smith, but homes right now, the prices are going up and interest rates are going up. You're stupid not to buy a house now. But when I say, oh, I can agree with you, I totally understand that. I understand you want to wait for your baby to be born. And they're like, okay, he's sensitive to our needs. All right, let's move on to another one. Come on. Did it work? All right, so now we have, let's scroll all the way down again. Future benefit.
Hey guys, it's Mike Bjorkman. Thanks so much for watching Minute with Mike. You guys love NLP, so we're just going to continue for the next couple weeks with it. Future Benefits Tie Down, or FBT. People love this. Very many agents make the mistake of not giving the future benefit of one of their features. So let's talk about this a little bit. First of all, you have to state the benefit, right? Then you have to say how it'll help in the future, and then you go get a yes. So let's practice this. Here's a script that I wrote this morning, just so you can work on this. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, one of the benefits of buying now is the rates are still at an all-time low. So many agents will say, hey guys, it's a good time to buy, rates are still low. Okay, well, that's a good reason, but what is the actual future benefit of that? That's what we do here. This means in the future, you will pay down your principal instead of paying mostly interest. Wouldn't that be awesome to get that much closer to retirement? So the future benefit is paying more principal, less interest, right? But then you got to get a yes. Wouldn't that be awesome to get closer to retirement? There's a lot of things there embedded in somebody's mind when thinking about buying a home. After hearing that, you almost have to buy a house, right? So think about that. State the benefit, how it's going to help in the future, and then get an approval or a yes saying, yeah, that makes sense, Mike. So thanks for watching Minute with Mike. Hope you like that. We'll see you next week.
All right, cool. So I'll give you an example of how I'm using that tremendously in this market. If you're following our training over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking a lot about how to get people to realize just how fantastic this market is. So they're like, hey, Mike, I don't really want to buy a house in today's market because it's so expensive. And I said, yeah, but you got to understand. And I know we talk about this a lot, but it's important, guys. You got to understand your payments are actually going to be the same or lower than if you lost a 50% or 20 to 30% on the price of that house, because when the rates go up, your payments go up. So, but they go, well, now I have my house that I don't want to sell. And I'll say, okay, keep the house that you're in now. If the market goes down, that's okay, but go ahead and keep the house. What a fantastic rental property. You can refinance that house at under 3% right now, but have a tenant pay off the mortgage. Typically, a tenant is paying off a mortgage with a lot of interest. Right now, they're paying off your principal. Dude, do you realize if you kept that house for the next 10 to 15 years, some tenant will pay that house off? Do you see the benefit of having that entire asset paid off in the future to help with your retirement plan, or to help with whatever they're interested in? And hopefully, maybe it's send the kids to college, maybe it's to pay off their next house, who knows what it is. But future benefit, you can't just tell people, you can't just make statements at people. You have to get them wondering about, like, wow, okay, I never thought of that before. And most people don't. If everybody really thought about what I just said, we'd have a lot more rental property in town, right? But a lot of people, they just don't want the headaches. They don't understand the future benefit of it. All right, let's go back and we'll do another one. All righty. All right, now, I hate having to scroll all the way down. Well, at least you guys know how many good videos there are in here. Oh, look, there's a buyer consultation live training right here. That's a really good one too. That's changed a lot of people's lives. You might want to check that out. Seller conversion, where did I put that? Future benefit. All right, the CCC technique, that's a good one. And then I'll let you guys off the hook from that.
Hey guys, it's Mike Bjorkman. Thanks for watching another week of Minute with Mike. We're going to continue with some NLP, and this particular technique is called the CCC. I love this, particularly on the phone, calling an expired, maybe a cold internet lead, or perhaps a for sale by owner. There's a few things you got to remember when somebody says, oh man, you're the 10th agent that called me today, and I'm just so sick of real estate agents, blah, 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 blah. You got to acknowledge that and say, okay, you got to be confident and say, Mr. Smith, no worries. I can appreciate that. I go through this all the time. And they go, wow, there's some confidence. And you got to remember to get some control. Mr. Smith, you said you wanted to sell your home in the next few months for the highest price in the quickest amount of time. If I could find you a good deal on the other end, wouldn't it be worth selling this house? Grab control again. What are they going to say to that? No, of course. They're going to say, yes, absolutely. That's what I'm going for. Sometimes you don't even know their motivation. So in order to get control, say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, one of the benefits of working with Team Bjorkman is we specialize in REO, foreclosures, short sales, default services, homes that are not on the market yet. Would you be interested in talking to me about how I can save you 5, 10, maybe 20% off your next purchase? And then they'll be all, whoa. So that's what we call gaining control. Then you continue. Say, let me ask you a question. When are you planning on moving for reals? Well, in the next 3 months. Great. So now we just want to continue with that. So if I could come up with properties from time to time that are foreclosures or short sales not yet on the market, would you like me to call you with those? And they're going to say yes. Then you have the permission to say, fantastic. Let me go ahead and get your email, your cell phone number. When do you like to be contacted? So that's kind of the CCC technique. Let's see the script I wrote on this. Hey, Mr. Smith, no worries. If I could find you default homes under market value from time to time, would you like to hear about them? Of course. Awesome. So I'll call you in a few weeks and let you know what's available at that time. So there's many different variations, but you and your role play partner should always be practicing this technique because it's very, very important. A lot of agents just back down and say, okay, I'm sorry to bother you. I'll call you later. I'll call you another time. No, no, no. Grab that confidence. I get it, Mr. Smith. I'm a busy guy too. They're like, oh, okay. And then make sure you just continue on after you've confirmed with exactly what they're looking for. That's really simple, right? All right.
All right. So I hope you guys got that and liked that. I just watched that. I know I could do that video better, but here's the impact that I want to make on you guys. It's so important to have the confidence, right? And if I listen to the calls through our database and I listen to the calls with people that I coach, and when somebody kind of jumps on them and it's usually a high D, they kind of like back off and say, oh, wow, that person doesn't want to buy a home. But those people do want to buy homes. I swear to you, they do. They just need to know that you're confident and you can snap them out of whatever they're in. Because let's be honest, if you woke them up, or if they're in the middle of changing diapers, or if they're in a fight with their spouse, or they're watching a news show or something, you've caught them off guard when you're calling them, right? So you have to be like, hey, no, I'm confident. I'm the agent here. You need me. And now I'm going to take control. Taking control to me is asking the right questions and saying things like, future pacing them too. Like, hey, in the future, when prices go up and interest rates go up, is that the time you want to buy? And they'll be, what do you mean? I go, you know what? I'm here to help you. Like, I'm on your team. This is the thing that I do and I specialize in. You can wait another 6 months and have a higher payment and completely ruin your investment side of this, or you can listen to me. Like, listen to me. I'll tell you and I'll show you how to do it. If you're motivated to move, let's talk about why you should be doing it now. So that's CCC technique. And I think about that in my mind all the time. Okay. Confidence. All right. Control and continue. Right. And you can never stop continuing. That's the other thing. And you don't stop continuing until you got the appointment. So, all right, guys, is there any little chat we need to do or any questions? I'm not seeing anything in the chat. I don't see anything on Facebook, so we might be good. If you guys want to come off mute, go ahead and ask a question. If not, then we're rocking and rolling. Let me look over here. All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, happy Monday. I hope you liked that nice little bonus training that I wasn't going to do, but we got to. And then I have a very special guest. So next week, make sure you write in your calendar. Don't miss next week's training. It'll blow your mind. And that's it, I guess. All right, guys. Love you all. Have fun. Call me if you need me.